Welcome, beautiful damsels. Never mistake silence for weakness, and never mistake a Sigma for a pushover. In a world where being accommodating is often mistaken for being polite, Sigma females stand out as the rare breed who simply don't play by those rules. They're the quiet ones who observe everything and speak only when necessary, yet somehow they manage to hold all the cards. Why? Because they've mastered the art of not being pushed around, and that's something society still hasn't figured out how to handle. Here's a fun fact. Studies have shown that people-pleasers are more likely to suffer from stress and burnout. Meanwhile, Sigma females, they're sipping their coffee in peace, completely unbothered by the chaos around them. They don't give in to social pressures, and they certainly aren't losing sleep over anyone's opinion. So, what exactly makes Sigma females immune to being pushovers? Grab your popcorn, because we're about to dive into the mindset that leaves most people scratching their heads, and some, frankly, a little scared. Number 1. Unafraid to be the villain in your story. A Sigma female isn't afraid to be seen as the villain in someone else's story. This is what separates her from the typical person who bends over backward to avoid conflict or discomfort. Most people fear being labeled as difficult or hard to deal with. But a Sigma? She doesn't care. If standing her ground makes her the bad guy in someone's eyes, she'll gladly wear that title like a crown. See, she's not here to please everyone or tiptoe around fragile egos. She knows that when you stand firm on your boundaries, not everyone will like it. And that's perfectly fine with her. If someone tries to guilt-trip her or paint her as the antagonist, because she didn't fall in line, she won't lose any sleep over it. In fact, she's probably already moved on to something more important while you're still sulking. What really throws people off is that Sigma females don't need external approval to feel good about themselves. So when you try to make her feel guilty for choosing herself or doing what's best for her, it just doesn't stick. She's immune to those emotional traps. She doesn't need to be liked, she doesn't need your validation, and she certainly doesn't need to explain herself to anyone. The beauty of it all. She's not intentionally cruel or unkind. She just knows that in life you can't please everyone, and trying to do so only drains your energy. If that means some people will see her as the villain, so be it. In her world, being true to herself is far more valuable than being liked by everyone else. Let them have their stories. She'll write her own. Number 2. They don't see relationships as survival. Sigma females don't see relationships as a form of survival, and that's one of the key reasons they're not pushovers. They're not the type to cling to people out of fear of being alone or to maintain a sense of security. Unlike many who stay in toxic relationships or friendships just to avoid loneliness, a Sigma female thrives in her own company. She doesn't need someone else to feel complete, and that gives her immense power. Most people, whether they admit it or not, stick around in bad situations because they're scared of what might happen if they walk away. Will they be lonely? Will they find someone else? A Sigma female doesn't have these fears because she understands that her value doesn't depend on who's around her. She's perfectly capable of standing on her own, and she won't hesitate to cut ties if the relationship isn't serving her. And when she does, she doesn't look back with regret or second-guess her decision. The real kicker? This confidence can be unsettling for people who are used to others bending over backward to keep relationships alive. The Sigma female doesn't do that. She values quality over quantity in her connections, and she would rather have a small circle of meaningful relationships than a crowd of superficial ones. If you try to manipulate or mistreat her, don't expect her to hang around hoping you'll change. She'll leave, and trust me, she'll be just fine. So while others might stay in relationships for the wrong reasons, security, fear, or convenience, a Sigma female stays true to herself. If it's not working, she's gone. And if you think that makes her cold or distant, that's on you. She's not here to stick around out of obligation or fear. Number 3. Boundaries are set in stone, no exceptions. When a Sigma female sets a boundary, consider it set in stone. There's no bending or blurring the lines to make others feel more comfortable, and she certainly doesn't make exceptions for anyone. Her boundaries are firm because she knows exactly what she's willing to tolerate, and anything outside of that is simply not an option. People often mistake flexibility for kindness, thinking that by pushing a little harder, they can get someone to change their mind. Not with a Sigma. If she says no, she means it. If she tells you something is off limits, don't test it. She doesn't budge just to avoid awkwardness or keep the peace. Some might call it stubbornness, but for her, it's about self-respect. She understands that compromising her boundaries just to please others only leads to resentment, and she's not about to do that to herself. What throws people off is that she doesn't make a big show about setting these boundaries. She doesn't need to. You'll know where the line is, and when you cross it, she'll remind you. Not with drama or loud confrontations, but with a simple withdrawal. You won't even realize how serious she was until you notice she's no longer available in the way she used to be. At that point, it's too late. The beauty of it is that these boundaries aren't about controlling others. They're about protecting her own peace. And when it comes to her mental and emotional well-being, she's not playing around. So if you thought you could sweet-talk your way past her limits, good luck. You'll quickly learn that her boundaries aren't suggestions. They're rules. Break them, and you might just find yourself on the outside looking in, wondering how she slipped away so quietly. Number 4, they dissect and analyze motives with precision. Sigma females have a unique ability to dissect and analyze motives with razor-sharp precision. It's like they have an internal radar that constantly scans for hidden agendas, and more often than not, they can spot someone's true intentions long before others do. Whether it's a fake compliment, a manipulative favor, or someone trying to cozy up to them for personal gain, they see it coming a mile away. Here's the thing. Most people go through life giving others the benefit of the doubt, sometimes even to a fault. Not the Sigma. She operates on facts, observations, and a healthy dose of skepticism. She pays close attention to what people do, not just what they say, and she connects the dots quicker than most. Trying to manipulate her is like playing chess against a grandmaster when you barely know how to move the pieces. People often underestimate how much she picks up on, because she doesn't always call out the behavior right away. But don't get it twisted. Just because she's quiet doesn't mean she's clueless. She's likely watching, processing, and calculating the best move. By the time you think you've got her figured out, she's already figured you out and made her decision. That's why people rarely get a second chance to pull the same stunt with her. Once she's seen through your motive, it's game over. This ability to analyze everything with laser focus is part of what makes a Sigma female so hard to fool. And let's be real, it can be a bit intimidating. You might think you're pulling one over on her, but in reality, she's 2 steps ahead, sipping her tea and already deciding how to deal with you, or if she'll deal with you at all. Number 5, impossible to manipulate with flattery or guilt. A Sigma female is impossible to manipulate with flattery or guilt, and that's where a lot of people stumble. Many are used to throwing out compliments or guilt trips to get what they want, but with a Sigma, that approach falls flat. She sees through shallow praise instantly and trying to make her feel guilty? Good luck with that. She's too sharp for those tricks. Flattery works on people who crave validation, but a Sigma female doesn't need external approval to feel good about herself. She's fully aware of her strengths and doesn't need someone else's approval to validate them. So when someone tries to butter her up with compliments that feel more like manipulation than genuine admiration, she'll spot it immediately. Instead of feeling flattered, she'll probably be thinking, "What's your angle?" As for guilt, that's another dead end. A lot of people use guilt to pressure others into doing things, especially when they want to cross boundaries. They'll try to make you feel like you're selfish or uncaring if you don't go along with what they want. But a Sigma female, she's immune to that nonsense. She knows that guilt is often used as a tool of control, and she's not falling for it. If she says no, she means it, and no amount of "you're being unfair" or "I thought you cared" is going to change that. It's not that she's heartless or uncaring. It's that she values her own boundaries and self-respect too much to be swayed by manipulative tactics. In the end, trying to use flattery or guilt on a Sigma female is like trying to catch a storm in a teacup. She's too smart, too independent, and way too grounded for that. Number 6, no interest in pleasing for acceptance. Sigma females don't get caught up in unnecessary drama because they simply don't have time for it. While some people love to stir the pot or get involved in other people's business, a Sigma female would rather focus on things that actually matter. It's not that she's unaware of the drama happening around her, she just doesn't care enough to get involved. People who thrive on chaos often find this frustrating because they can't seem to drag her into their emotional mess. Whether it's gossip, petty arguments, or social drama, she sees it for what it is, a waste of time and energy. While others are losing their minds over who said what or who did what, she's off doing her own thing, completely unbothered. In fact, she might even find the whole thing a little amusing, watching from a distance as everyone else gets caught up in their own webs of drama. What makes a Sigma female stand out is her ability to stay calm and composed, even when chaos is swirling around her. It's not that she doesn't face challenges or difficult situations, but she approaches them with a level of detachment that others find hard to match. She knows when something is worth her attention, and when it's just noise that's better left ignored. And if someone tries to pull her into their drama, they'll quickly learn that she's not easily baited. She's not going to waste her breath on petty arguments or emotional games. Instead, she'll quietly remove herself from the situation, leaving the instigators to wonder why their usual tricks didn't work. In a world where so many people feed off drama, the Sigma female stands out as someone who simply refuses to play along. And that, in itself, is a power move. Number 7. Emotionally self-regulated. Sigma females are the epitome of emotional self-regulation, showcasing a level of emotional control that could rival a Zen master. While many individuals might flounder when provoked, getting caught up in the drama of their feelings, a Sigma female remains a steady rock. She's the kind of person who can hear your wildest accusations or the juiciest gossip and respond with a calm, collected smile that says, "Is that all you've got?" What sets her apart from the pushovers of the world is her mastery of her inner landscape. While some people wear their emotions like a billboard, broadcasting their every feeling for all to see, a Sigma female keeps her emotions under wraps like a secret vault. This doesn't mean she's cold or detached. Rather, it means she understands the power of emotional awareness and knows how to navigate it without losing her cool. Picture this. Someone tries to push her buttons, hoping to elicit a dramatic response or some emotional upheaval. They might shout, throw insults, or attempt to guilt trip her. But while they're busy trying to stir the pot, she's sitting there, maybe even sipping her favorite tea, unfazed. In her mind, she's probably thinking, "Do they think I haven't seen this episode before?" This emotional regulation doesn't just keep her calm, it also leaves manipulators baffled. They don't know how to deal with someone who won't play along with their emotional games. Instead of getting flustered or drawn into a conflict, she'll assess the situation, choose her words carefully, and respond thoughtfully. If she feels the need to step away, she will, without a hint of hesitation. The result? Drama seekers find themselves frustrated and confused, while Sigma females continue to thrive in their composed state. With emotional self-regulation, she doesn't just maintain her peace. She also teaches others a valuable lesson, that their attempts to provoke her are futile. For Sigma females, emotional control isn't just a skill, it's a superpower that keeps them above the fray, allowing them to navigate life's challenges with grace and strength. Number 8. They trust their intuition over external advice. Sigma females are known for trusting their intuition over the advice of others, and this is one of the many reasons they can't be pushed around. While most people might find themselves easily swayed by friends' opinions or the latest trends, a Sigma female remains firmly rooted in her own internal compass. It's as if she has a built-in GPS that guides her through life's twists and turns, completely unaffected by the noise around her. Imagine being in a room full of people tossing around suggestions on what she should do next. While others might be nodding along, she's quietly assessing the situation, listening to her gut. Her intuition is sharp, finely tuned from years of self-awareness and life experience. She knows that sometimes the loudest voices are the most misguided, and she's not about to let someone else's uncertainty dictate her path. If her instinct tells her that something feels off, you can bet she's going to listen to that inner voice rather than conform to the crowd. This reliance on intuition allows her to navigate life with a confidence that many envy. While some may agonize over every decision, seeking validation from social media or group chats, a Sigma female will calmly weigh her options and trust her gut feeling. She's not afraid to go against the grain or make choices that others might deem unconventional. After all, why follow a map drawn by someone else when she has her own? When faced with conflicting advice, she'll often chuckle at the irony of it all. "You think your opinion is going to change my mind?" she might think, as she nods politely, and then promptly does her own thing. Her intuition isn't just a tool, it's her ally, helping her forge her path without getting lost in the noise of external influence. This independence not only empowers her but also showcases her strength, proving that sometimes the best advice you can get comes from within. Number 9. Curators of their environment, fiercely loyal. Thanks for clarifying. Here's a revised take that emphasizes the strong backbone of Sigma females and how they fiercely defend their territory and values. Sigma females are not just selective about who they allow into their lives, they also have a strong backbone that makes it clear they won't be pushed around. They stand firm in their beliefs and values, and they defend their space and integrity with unwavering loyalty. When you step into a Sigma female's world, you better understand that she's the one setting the rules. If you think you can steamroll her or take advantage of her kindness, you're in for a rude awakening. Her loyalty to herself and her environment means that she won't hesitate to stand up for what she believes in. If someone tries to challenge her, manipulate her, or pressure her into doing something she's uncomfortable with, she'll be the first to put her foot down. This isn't about being confrontational. It's about maintaining her peace and self-respect. She'll assert her boundaries with a calm confidence that leaves no room for debate. You might think you can push her around, but good luck with that. She's not budging an inch. What's more, her fierce loyalty extends to those she truly cares about. If you're part of her inner circle, she'll go to bat for you in a heartbeat. But if you're not, and you think you can take advantage of her kindness or test her limits, prepare for a reality check. Sigma females don't just protect themselves, they're guardians of their environment, willing to confront anyone who tries to disrupt their peace. With her strong backbone, she becomes a force to be reckoned with, and those who underestimate her will quickly learn that she's not someone to mess with. Number 10. They operate on their own timeline, not yours. Sigma females operate on their own timeline, a reality that can be both refreshing and frustrating for those around them. Unlike many who feel the pressure of societal deadlines or the need to meet others' expectations, Sigma females navigate life with a unique sense of timing. If you think you can impose your sense of urgency on them, prepare for a reality check, because they'll push back with a calm confidence that says, "Not today." Imagine trying to rush a Sigma female through a project or a decision, only to find her unfazed by your ticking clock. She's likely to respond with a raised eyebrow and a steady gaze that makes it clear she's not in a hurry. This isn't an act of defiance, it's simply her way of asserting control over her own life. She understands that rushing through things often leads to mistakes and regrets, and she's not about to compromise her standards for anyone else's convenience. This fierce independence means she prioritizes quality over speed. Whether it's a work project, personal decision, or even social engagements, she takes the time necessary to ensure she's making the right choice for herself. When others pressure her, she often finds a sense of amusement in their frustration. After all, it's like watching someone try to herd cats. Good luck with that. While some may perceive her calm demeanor as procrastination, it's more about respecting her process. She knows that true clarity and creativity often emerge from giving herself the space to think and reflect. In a world obsessed with immediacy, Sigma females remind us that sometimes the best things take time. So, if you're in a rush, you might want to reconsider your approach. Because when it comes to Sigma females, it's their timeline that matters most, and they'll stick to it no matter what. Sigma females are a testament to the strength of self-awareness and emotional intelligence. Their ability to maintain a solid backbone and exhibit zero tolerance for drama showcases a profound understanding of their worth and boundaries. By trusting their intuition over external advice, They navigate life's challenges with a unique blend of confidence and discernment that sets them apart. Rather than allowing others to dictate their choices or emotions, they engage selectively, surrounding themselves with people and situations that enrich their lives. This fierce independence not only empowers them, but also highlights their loyalty to their core values and the environments they choose to cultivate. Ultimately, Sigma females embody the idea that true strength lies in knowing oneself deeply and standing firm in one's beliefs. They demonstrate that emotional self-regulation is not just about avoiding conflict, but also about creating space for personal growth and meaningful connections. Their unwavering confidence and resilience inspire others to embrace their authenticity, reminding us all that we hold the power to shape our narratives. In the end, it's this mastery of self that allows Sigma females to thrive, proving that they are anything but pushovers. They are the architects of their own destinies. Thanks, damsels, for tuning in. See you in the next vid. Bye and stay blessed.